We'll start with the pen because it definitely is the most interesting stylus we've seen in the current lineup of everything that's Wacom available. This is an entirely metal stylus with a carbon graphite nib, meaning this does wear down pretty quick, although they do give you a lot of refills, and refills aren't very expensive. You can buy them from our store. Now, the Fujitsu pen does need to be charged via micro USB, but it doesn't take very long because the lithium ion on board is very, very small. This is the stylus pen M01, meaning if you have the A4 or the A5, you can use the same pen on both. You have an eraser button and a highlight button, which we'll show you in a second. Now, this device doesn't technically have a home screen. Your home screen is a list of the things that are on your device, or if you press the top, you have all the things here. Return to documents, schedule, documents, folder, all notes, create a note, import from ScanSnap, and settings. Now, we will go every one of these and show you everything that they do. Return to document is as simple as it sounds, returns to the most recently read or opened PDF. Schedule is where you will go to find everything that you've preloaded in for your schedules. It'll look like this, and you can actually download these from the Fujitsu website. Now, the beauty of this is not only is it a regular PDF with all the same text augmentations you'll find throughout the entire device, so you can write all over the thing like that. It actually is interactable too. So you can click on month to month and it actually interacts as an interactable PDF should. And it goes even further. You can click on the day. So you can go ahead and make your notes 10 a.m. and you can go back to the month like that, and you can continue on making your notes. And if you want to highlight something and, make a point of it, you can say this is very important, put a star next to that, etc. You actually can use the eraser function on here as well, and you can actually use the highlight. So if you say you wanted to highlight a week's worth of activity, you say that's a week's worth right there, and you can actually highlight over the same thing 11 times on this device, and it just keeps getting darker and darker until it's almost blacked out, which we don't recommend. All Documents takes you back to All Documents, which is pretty much your home screen. You can click here again and go to Folders. Folders is how you're going to associate where things go. When you use the Fujitsu application on your desktop, you can actually put these in respective folders, PDF, schedules, etc. We just left them here because we transferred to the root of the device. All notes are where all your notes are going to be. You can see right there we have made some. Create a note, which we'll save to the end because that'll be note-taking, is where you start your note. Import from ScanSnap. ScanSnap is, if you look at the overlaying footage, it is its own proprietary device that Japan uses quite a bit actually. It is a standalone device from Fujitsu, and you use it to scan things. This thing does have integration for that, and you can scan things and put them on here and sign documents and go ahead and email them off, etc. Settings is where you'll find a lot of your settings. Now, this thing does have a fair amount of wireless connectivity. It does have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and NFC. You can start a Wi-Fi access point information, and system settings is where you can go to actually do a screen lock. Now, the beauty of this is that you have an NFC logo up top, and this thing is NFC enabled, meaning that if you had an NFC key card, you can actually assign this device with that NFC key card, and the only person that has that NFC key card can unlock this device. Failing that, you can actually just use a password if that makes things a little bit easier. Initialize device is where you factory reset your device, and you have note templates. You can see all the templates here. You can sideload in your own. In fact, Fujitsu on their website has pretty much 30 different templates that you can sideload into here. Schedulers, storyboard, a whole bunch of stuff. There's about device and regulatory information that's just FCC logoing and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't really need to look at. Go in there if you want and check everything out. Now, unfortunately, unlike a lot of other devices like Onyx and Boyu, you actually can't change the template midway. You do have to select your template right out of the gates here: graph, legal pad, meeting notes, notepad, to-do list, etc. And there are 2 pages of them. We're just going to choose blank portrait because it's the easiest one that just has a blank page. We can do some drawing on here. So if you tap in the center, you do have some ways to change your pen setup. So you have blue, red, and you have 5 different levels of pen thickness and some eraser thicknesses. Now the pen thicknesses doesn't really matter too much, and I'll show you why right now. On the screen, I'm going to write blue. It's obviously black, but when you export this, all that will be blue. If I then click here and go to red, you'll see that it'll gray out in a second, so all of that will be red. And this is very useful, so if you're grading papers and you want to give people a big fat F, you can put red on your page all day long. Now, don't worry too much about the fact that there's only 5 different settings for pen thicknesses. This does not have pressure sensitivity, so it doesn't matter if you press hard or light, it's going to be the same thickness of line. But the beauty of this is you can actually pinch and zoom, and you can see there, we're pinching and zooming 300%. You can go upwards of thousands of percent, and you can make very, very fine details like this. And while you're here, you do have the ability to change all of your pen thicknesses and whatnot, and you can go even further and further, 1200% even, and make these super fine lines. This is very useful for making portraits, drawing schematics, because you could not achieve that with any level of pressure sensitivity. Only by pinching and zooming are you able to achieve such fine detail like you're seeing here. You can pinch and zoom with your left hand or, your off hand, and you can write at the same time. So you can kind of use those 2 skills together while you're taking your notes, and there you go. Now there's a couple more things you can do here. You can go down to area selection. For example, we'll take this F, for example. So we'll go like that, and we can actually move this around like so. So you've actually moved it entirely. You can click done if you want to move it there. Now, unfortunately, you do have to go back there every single time you want to change anything, but there are a couple more things you can do. If you've drawn something really intricate, you can actually cut that and then click the clipboard and paste it. You can copy it as well. So if you've just drawn something like a very technical house or something, watch my architectural skills at hand here. See that? That is a beautiful little house. I'm going to draw a little lawn as well, and a picket fence. I'm not very good at drawing. So now what we will do is take our area selection, box the entire thing, we can copy it, and by clicking here, you can basically stamp the very intricate thing we've just drawn. So you can actually do that with the entire page and put it onto another page. And you can just simply start a new page by swiping. Now there's another thing we really want to show you. This is displayed documents side by side. The beauty of this is it is effectively split screening the entire UI, and that's why we didn't tape this down on the board, splitting the entire UI into 2 separate digital note-taking devices, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now we have our blank portrait page 2 on this side. We can actually choose our scheduler on the other side. You can choose any PDF on this side, any PDF on that side, and if you're left-handed or right-handed, you can actually swap screens, so you can maybe write with this side. And the interactable functionality still works on that, so you can go ahead and make your notes there, make your notes here, swipe the page back, swipe the date forward, click on a day. Everything is completely isolated in these 2 sides. So it really gives you the flexibility to have all of your medical documents and your educational textbooks on one side and have your blank note-taking page on the other side so you can take notes and make references. We have to show you the PDF, and the reason we use the same PDF on all of the devices is because we don't change the actual file, we change the devices. This gives you an idea of what device brings to the table. Now this is just a PDF app, so you actually get the exact same things you do on the schedule, the note-taking, any PDF, any textbook that you would on here. So in that regard, it's not spectacular. We're just giving you an idea of what the screen real estate shows you. So if I put my hand on the screen, you will see that there is a fairly large amount of screen real estate on this 13.3. And there aren't many 13.3-inch devices on the market. There's only the Onyx Books Max 3, the Sony DPT RP1, and to a lesser extent the Dasung secondary monitor, which is just a secondary monitor. This is one of the few 13.3s on the market, and this is the latest one. This is a 2020 device. You can see we've already done some scribbling there. Now, on the same kind of note, you can do all of your pinch and zooming up to as many percentages as you want, and you can do your highlights anytime you want. All of these things just work. That's the beauty of this, is that you can take your notes, you can make your highlights, you can zoom in, you can draw things, you can alter things, and the beauty is you can just save it and you can export it, and all of your things are saved. So when you put things on here, you actually eliminate the whole scan, sign, print, because you can just sideload things onto here, do your little signature, and then you go ahead and export it. And that is very useful because not only do you have to not print things, but it's very instant and it's very just easy. Do we recommend the Quaderno A4? Absolutely. There are so few devices that are on the market that have this level of screen real estate. There really aren't a whole bunch. There's less than you can count on one hand. This device is a 2020 model. It's by a very reputable brand in the world that brings you basically every style of device in consumer electronics. And this thing is breathing new life into the note-taking realm. It's very unique, and it is only available from goodyreader.com because it's only available in Japan, and one of the 3 countries we operate in is Japan. We have a Goody Reader Japan outlet. We sell this anywhere in the world. If you guys want to buy this, head over to the store, and for a full review of the Quaderno A4 by Fujitsu 13.3-inch digital note-taking device, this is Peter.